Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back to Sum It Up with the Sumners, guys. So glad y'all are here on Myths Part 2. I know you liked last week. I know you did. And we're here to bring you more. And again, this is your input. We are so glad you're back for more. I am Katoya, and this is
Damon.
my excellent, wonderful, amazing spouse.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? Just, change it up a little bit.
Okay.
And first of all, we always start a podcast just saying thank you all so much for listening. Thanks
Yes,
for
indeed.
tuning in. Thanks for your feedback and your engagement and for following us on everything.
Everything.
Where are they following us at?
The support has been amazing. We appreciate y'all for that. The subscribers are continuing to grow. We appreciate that. We're grateful for that. On YouTube, full episodes video. You say, I ain't really into YouTube. That's cool. Hit that subscribe.
Yeah.
We appreciate that support. Let me just say that. Somebody was like, I don't really do YouTube. You ain't got to. You ain't got to. Hit subscribe, show the support. But if you want to check us out, if you're listening, why don't you watch as well? That's one. And also, just want to shout out everyone rocking with us on Patreon. We would love for you to consider joining us and rocking with us on Patreon for that exclusive online content. Right now, we've got bonus episodes on Patreon only. Right? So we're giving out more content, but it's only on Patreon. So you're like, yo, I want some more content. Want some more value from the Sumners? Appreciate that. Check us out on Patreon, Patreon. And of course, all the reviews have been fantastic.
Yeah, they have. Thank y'all for taking a moment of time to fill them out. Got to highlight one.
Mm-hmm.
Got emoji.
Mm-hmm. What type of emojis, though?
Okay. Praise hand.
Hey.
Double heart. Cool shades.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Damon and Katoya are inspiring on their own and awesome together on this podcast. Great vibes and tons of relationship and life wisdom from these two.
Appreciate you. Emoji?
5 stars.
5 stars.
Yeah. If you want to actually put your name so that we can know who you are, that'd be fantastic. But right now you are emojis. And since there's a heart, I'm going to say you're emoji woman. Don't know, but double pink hearts is typically a girl thing. I don't know. Maybe not. If you're a guy holding that down, shout out. Appreciate the review. So thank you so much. We love doing this, and we're happy that you guys are enjoying it too.
Definitely. Let's get into it. Let's do this here. So we left off. I think we knocked out 4 last week. Hope you had fun. We had a great time with it. We're back for part 2. So let's jump right into it. The next myth, relationships. Hey, you got to do everything together. You got to do everything just like this. Just everything together. You can't see we holding hands shoulder to shoulder. Everything together.
Connected.
Now, I'll say this. When I first started dating, if you don't know, Katoria's my only girlfriend. Let's go. I thought I thought this myth was true. I'm speaking for myself. I thought this was true. I was like, listen, whatever she wants to do, I'm going to do. If she wants to get into horseback riding, I'm going to get into horseback riding, right? If she wants to start, training llamas, I'm training llamas. We're a llama family. What's up? Llamas to go. All right? That's not the case anymore. I've realized that. I'm a grown man. I understand this now. You do not have to. This is 100% myth. I'm going to go 100%. I'm leaning all the way out. You do not have to do everything together. Am I right or wrong?
You are 100% correct. My face is like, who thinks that's the truth? Like, what? I mean, you don't have to do everything together. I'm just trying to think of different scenarios. But I didn't even know you even thought like that. I mean, maybe I thought similarly, but
listen,
the way my disdain and my body language right now today is just
your shoulders were back, her eyebrows were raised.
I'm also coming off of these pandemic vibes. And these pandemic vibes got me fighting to be an individual person hard. But we do always say that there should be value 100% in, doing things together, for sure. But you need to you don't have to do everything together.
That's crucial.
There has to be space.
There has to be space. I do want to give a caveat here because this is always something people enjoy bringing up, is watching television together.
Okay.
So
what about that?
I think most couples, if not all couples in here, can relate. You started a show together.
Oh.
The show is going well. It's been a great show. Then all of a sudden, somebody in the relationship come home and a couple episodes have been watched without them. Now there's an argument. Now there's a spat. Now there's a division in the house because it's like, do I watch them again with you? Am I going to wait for you to watch those? Or now we're going to finish the series independently. We have done a great job watching shows collectively together. There's some shows we love together. There's some shows we have started together, and we both were like, we out, right? And then there's shows we started together, and one kept going and one stopped. And so I just want to put that caveat out there because if you have a show, right, and you guys are watching together, don't be that person. And if you're listening, you're like, that was me. I did that. He talking to me. I'm talking to somebody out here. I don't know. Is there one? I'm talking to somebody.
I'll be like, yeah, nah, let's not watch this one together.
She did this 2 weeks ago on a show we didn't even Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, that's because I know you don't love it.
I watched the whole season without you.
I know, so I figured that we should just do it independently again.
Well, how many episodes did you get through?
None.
Because you?
I fell asleep.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody understands what's going on here.
Multiple times every time.
So you might need my help to watch the show then.
No, it just was timing. See, that's why it's hard to watch TV on the same times because it's like maybe it's just easier for me to
That's true.
Do it randomly at another time.
But back to the myth.
It is true. The myth is doing that was a good one though.
That's
doing things together all the time. No, you just shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't be a requirement, but I do think, as always, communication is important. So if it's something that y'all do together, you need to say, well, hey, I want to do this separately, or if it's something that you just want to do independently, that you say, this is my thing, Like when I was never trying to be a comedian, okay? But I did feel like, oh, Damon's being a comedian. It wasn't like that at all. But right. I just kind of felt like, oh, that's his space. Like, I was never trying to do it 100% by any means ever.
Let that be clear.
Do I want to? I just enjoyed it. And you, too, should take Lace Layer B's Laugh class because it was pretty awesome. And that's what I did. And it was fun.
Killed it.
And it was great and a wonderful experience. But I wasn't trying to be a comedian. So I do feel like some things are left for the individual to just do, explore, and enjoy.
Yeah, I think it's healthy to do things independently. If you listen to this in the pandemic of 2020, then we see how if you're working together at home or living life at home a lot more, that lack of distance, that lack of commute away from each other can continue to showcase things in your relationship. We're like, ooh, that time apart was helpful. So I think there is an element of health and value in doing things independently. On one end, just to have a little distance. Another end, to kind of build friendships and community outside the house, right? And then there's also something that I just enjoy about Katoya, doing something I have no interest in. I have no interest of riding my bike around the city for 40 miles. It does not excite me. It does not get me pumped up, ready to go. Not at all. I don't like hills sitting down. I don't like hills on two wheels. So I don't like them, Sam I am.
I was like, what are you, Dr. Seuss?
What I was saying, though, but when she comes home, she had a great day. And I just want to hear. I just want to listen. Because I'm just living through you as a cyclist. I'm a road cyclist through you.
Oh, and he be trying to use all my lingo like he really know.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right, so how many miles you do? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's good.
He be all in it.
You clicking? Oh, see, I had to put the hand out to the left. Yeah, okay. All right,
Stop.
I have bike lanes.
Stop.
But I think that's something I find value in, though.
And I agree. And I think that is the sweet part about it is that the support that you can gain from not doing everything together necessarily, by sharing the excitement around whatever it is that you take into. And then being like, oh, they will listen to my day or what I've done or the accomplishment I wanted to do within that, so I think it's kind of cool in that way. And that's what I think when I think you got to do everything together. I mean,
there's a benefit of one thing. Katoya, she said, she's told me this a few times, maybe even on the show already, is that in the old world in 2015 when we were living life decently, when I would do a show and she would just have the kids in the bed sleep and then the house to herself for just 2 to 3 hours. That would just be a great evening sometimes for her, right? Now that's not the case. Now I'm all up in the grill. I'm like, what's up, boo? What we doing? What we watching? What we eating? What you doing? I'm coming. Right? And so...
You upstairs?
Fix your face.
You downstairs?
Fix your face.
Let's go to the bag.
So again, I think there is a level of health when you're talking about not doing everything together.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. Because we're going to say the same, to do many things together.
Yes.
You have to have the opportunity to do some other.
Gotta have it.
All right, what's number 2?
Myth number 2. All right, from my homie in Alabama, Scott Eason. He said, hey, one of the myths is that the sex is far and few in between or that it completely dies out. Myth. Katoy, on a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, how accurate is this myth? My goodness. We need to pause this podcast.
It depends. It doesn't die out. Sex should never die out. Because we say sex, we have to like make this rated R now or explicit content. I'm not for sure. But
no.
What I'm saying is...
Have you watched a movie in 2020?
I don't know. All right, you're right. I just had this talk permission actually about like levels of curse words and explicities in movies and content.
All right, mission is all right. If you don't know, he's our 10-year-old son.
You should know. All right, so I'm going to say that it probably feels less than. Because most people, the myth is true. I give it about a 3.
Go ahead and explain to the people.
I do think that, I think it just depends on what's going on in your life, right? Like, if you're probably like, a married couple without children, or if you're just a couple that's together and you have tons of time, then sex is probably still really, really vibrant. I do think if you have more kids or you have traveling jobs, it's probably less. Like there's an like when you're dating, you are going out your way to date, to pursue. This is if you're having sex and dating. If you're not, then at the beginning of your marriage, you're so excited because now you're married and now you're like, let's go. It's new and exciting in a sense. I'm not saying it's dying down, and that's important for relationships to spark that back up, because there are going to be, yet again, ebbs and flows of highs and lows of sexual, I don't know. Sex in your marriage or in your relationship, whatever. So I do think that it does not die. It should never die. And if it is dead, you need to go figure out how to start the fire.
We got to have a whole episode about that another time.
What's your level?
I think it's different than what I do is I see it as time. I feel like time is the essence, specifically in all things, how they change. So I don't think I'm not saying you're wrong. I think more so, what I'll say is more so than stages of life, seasons of life, kids, no kids, more so than that. I think time, it finds a way to warp all things. You get that new phone out the box, don't touch the phone. You got the case on it. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm put it here. 8 months later, you got mustard on the phone right there. You put it in the box, ain't no case on it. You drop it down the stairs. You're like, whatever. Like, time does that with all things. Your car, brand new. I'm a vacuuming every weekend. I'm spray up the tires. 2 years later here, Taco Bell in the glove box out here. You ain't wiped off the mirrors at all. Like, it just, time does that. So I feel like specifically when we're talking about sex dying down, I think over time it has a way of life and of seasons of whatever to kind of just warp itself. Maybe the passion, the spontaneity, the date nights, right? Whatever the case may do has its own way. Just time in general. I'm not going to use the word marriage because that's just not just the title, but like that's, you don't have to be quote unquote married to still feel the effects of time is what I'm trying to say, right? And so I think that there is definitely a reality of in a relationship of time being like, all right, I'm going to try to make things a little more difficult, a little more challenging, depending on your work schedule, right? Depending on your health, depending on just activities in general to kind of fight for that. Because, I'll just speak for like evenings. For me, like my job is like in the evenings. So it's like we also just have to be creative with time in general, right? If you're going 3, 4, 5 nights, evenings, and the person who you love the most in the world goes to sleep at 8:42. Like, so it's just like, woo!
Yeah, I think it's just a fight. I mean, it's not like a fight to have segments, but it's a fight to make sure that you are making the right time. Because when you're doing life every day, if you don't make it a priority, then yes, it can fizzle, but it should never die. And if it's dying, emergency. Do something. All right, get away.
Fan it.
Run it back. Get a stick. Strike it. Go try something new.
Do something different. Jump off the headboard. Live your life is what we're trying to say in 2020. Mix it up. We'll do that. Episode 20. Episode 20. We'll talk. Episode 20. Hold those two. We don't talk about sex, just sex and intimacy in general.
That's just like 10 episodes away.
Whew, that's quick.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're trying to get y'all to like kind of feel good and know us before we go into doing, deep sex talks. Next one up is relationships from high school never work. Or online dating relationships never work.
Well, we know that the former First Lady Michelle Obama said something about this recently here.
I still love her.
Always. She was like, I'm paraphrasing. She was like, they ain't really gonna end up well if you're out here on Tinder frolicking around. And I know a few people who are doing very well, thriving from the online world. So let me go ahead and say that we actually have a bonus episode on Patreon that we talk about what we would look like if we were single. So that was an interesting episode for us to kind of dig into that. Check that out if you can. So I definitely think, one, we were college sweethearts.
Yeah.
We met in high school. We dated in college. And so, yeah, I think I lean mostly with the no on this one here. I think this is a myth. I think there is some truth in it because in high school, you're still trying to figure yourself out. You still only have so many freedoms and so much privilege.
You don't agree with it?
What I'm saying is like, you definitely can make a relationship in high school or even college work. What I'm saying is specifically, because there were so many people who can't graduate from high school still in a relationship, that I think it is going to have in a different layer because the growth is still just growing rapidly. You're still figuring out who yourself are. You started dating at 16, now you're 24, you're learning about, politics and philosophy, you're living life, you're grown now, and so there's so much that's different. So I think they can work, but I do think there's some truth because there's a different angle of it here. Do you think, you feel the same way? Or you think different?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I think it, I guess the question is they never work. The reality is most of the time they do not. I think on the opposite end, if you are one that has, you are the anomaly.
Hey,
you are the rarity.
Look at you out here.
Whoever you are, right? Because so much of that stuff does take place. So even online dating things, and I think there's a difference. If you have the intention to actually get to know someone and date them through an online, that's one thing. That's different. But if you're going around and just hoeing around, then that's a whole other story. Because now you're just trying to sleep around. That's two different intentions.
Different things.
Whether you meet somebody in person or online, that's just I just don't know how well that's gonna work. Like
use a hoe. Ow!
Anyway, so that you just gotta be careful, right? You just wanna,
I don't focus. I'm back.
No, what? It's the intention.
It's the intention,
right? I'm not saying if you, do what you do, but your intention to do it. Are you trying to have a legit, solid relationship or not? Like that's what's gonna matter.
Sure.
So, and like in high school, I mean, yeah, maybe you do, but you just haven't lived enough, praise the Lord that we are decently, that we're still here. Because, yeah, we've grown so much since being 18 together.
What do you think if we started dating as a sophomore in high school? You think we'd be here now?
We weren't supposed to date sophomores in high school.
Wrong answer. The answer is yes. Yes, we would have made it.
Yes.
That was a softball that you just bunted and you're out. You're out. Go sit down, drink a water bottle. Sorry. Get out of here.
Well, which kind of spills me right into the idea of is there a perfect spouse? Right? Like we think of, that's a Patreon episode too, just this Mr. Right, the one. But that so anything can work with the right intention from the last myth. This new myth, there's a perfect spouse. Is there a perfect spouse?
No.
There's a perfect no one.
There is nothing perfect here. If you're not paying attention here.
No one is perfect.
I am not perfect here. I've got my flaws. I feel like I do a few things well. There are several things I do not do well. As you know, if you've been listening, if something breaks at my house, I'm buying a new one. Same day. That's how it's going to go down. It's okay. I've got some flaws. Katoya, yeah. She's got a few flaws, okay?
That was kind. I have many. And I know them. I'm the person who has their flaws. I'm like, hey, listen, I have the flaws. Just so you know, you don't have to call me out on them. I will call myself
Your
out.
self-awareness is accurate. It's always on top. She does that. She goes about like the B Rabbit route from 8 Mile. She'll kind of say the flaws so you ain't got to bring them up.
It's okay. I'm aware.
I got it.
You ain't got to tell me about
Forget a clock. Forget a dock. I'm a piece of right trash.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's kind of my route because I am aware.
Yes.
So, but no, there's no perfect spouse.
Yeah, you're not gonna find a perfect relationship.
The perfect person is someone who's willing to put in the time, effort, and energy to
come on now,
love well, serve well, put it in well, whatever you need to do. Like the person who's gonna be there and be present and make like the growth, right? Because it's growth. There's changes. There's adjustments. There's heavy hitters. There's soft hitters. There's just all kind of stuff that can be done. So sure, Damon is my perfect spouse simply because of that very reason.
I'm in this thing, baby.
Of like working through it, right? It ain't literally perfect, no, but choosing to fight for it is what's perfect.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one right there. You would agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, we're on the same page about that. Look at us out here making good decisions together.
Yeah, we're agreeing that there is no perfect spouse.
Yes.
But the perfect spouse is the one who deals with the imperfections.
Bang, you heard it here first. Yeah. Next one up, myth, relationships. Relationships, specifically marriage, are balls and chains. The old ball and chains mentality here. I'll speak for myself. I heard this several times growing up. Not just in media, like TVs and movies, but like as I got older, there would be certain adult men who were married, and they just be like, again, it goes back to what I said last episode, just that hard work, just labor, just, my old lady, she got me doing this, the old ball and chain, I got to get home.
Not sure who you were talking to with that type of
Nobody could. They're not in my life anymore. But this is a 100% myth right here. This might be a lie. I might even call it a lie. Love being married. Love it. I love it. Am I right?
Yeah.
That was the only answer she could have said.
No, sorry. To be honest, I got distracted. I heard the kids yelling.
See, we out here trying to do a podcast for y'all. We also doing pandemic parenting. We multitasking.
I'm sorry. Like, what is going on? I got distracted. Ball and chain. Yeah. I mean, that's not.
Did you hear that growing up, or just
maybe a little bit? Probably. I don't know. I can't really say somebody say, "Oh, the ball and chain," sure, that. But that concept of like, just in it to be in it, or because I mean, essentially, ball and chain is like a lockdown.
I think it's almost slavery. I think it's just like I can't get out. I'm stuck.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, that's really bad. No one should ever think of anything that you're in as something like that. Although, like, me and David always approach things. I mean, this is something we're not getting out of, but no one's saying, like, you better.
You leave me.
I'm going to cut you. These are your last days. Like, no one's saying things like that, but it's like, hey, divorce is not an option, so what else we about to do to get through whatever we're feeling right now? Like, we've always said that in the very beginning. It is not an option. For us, this is what we desire to not have to do because we are each other's perfect spouse. Duh, because we're trying to work through the imperfections. So yeah, it should never be looked at like that. And if it is, that just means that you need probably some counseling.
We're pro counseling. We're pro therapy.
Go get it.
Please.
We've been through it.
Please.
Go do it.
Do that thing.
Yeah, I mean, to have all the answers is just like not existing. Yeah. So nothing should ever feel that locked down. So to that myth.
To that one.
Not okay. Here's one of my favorites. Once we get married, this will change. He's not going to smoke no more because once he already know I don't like that. So when we get in the house together, he's just going to stop. You got another one?
Well, all right. Well, I'm going to stay on he just because it could be a she. It could be whatever you want to be. But like, I don't really do these chores. But once we get married and I know we're committed and we in this thing, they going to start busting these suds. They going to start helping out more around the house. And then you get married, you put the ring on, you're like, you ain't clean the kitchen.
He's cheated on me before, but like, a couple times. But when we get married, it's just going to changed because now we're in a real committed relationship?
Hey fam, listen, she was always nagging when we were dating. She was a nagger. But now I told her I put the ring on it. She knows I'm committed. She knows I love her. She ain't gonna be nagging no more.
To every last one of them. Like, what marriage isn't gonna solve it, right? And I mean, even forget marriage, like you're getting in a relationship isn't gonna fix whatever you have going on independently, which is why we talked about last episode, knowing your own self-worth and being completed in who you are before you try to seek that completion in somebody else. Like you, it's not gonna change the person, you know. Like it's only gonna it's like a it'll just it's like taking form into something else possibly, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're lying, you're just gonna now lie about something different. Or if you're, like a cheating could go away. I don't know, but anything can possibly change. Sure. But the likelihood that just because that one magical day takes place and now you're in a home trying to figure out each other, which we keep telling you, two people coming together is not easy. I mean, you're coming from two different worldviews, perspectives, backgrounds, beliefs, whatever, life, right? You haven't lived life together all of your life, so new things take place, especially the more you expose yourself to new things. So just saying, like, it's not going to change without work. It won't change immediately, shall I say. Things can it's just going to take work. So whatever pre-existing problems you have, marriage is not the answer to those conditions. You're now going to have to take the correct medicine, or you need to take the correct medicine before you get married. See if it's even going to pass.
Katoya knew I loved Lil Debbie before we got married. She just knew. She knew this. And then when we got married, the snack wrappers kept coming. Like, she knew that this wasn't a surprise to her.
He got me in on it. I'm like, what? I don't even need those strawberry cakes.
That's it, because I love her. I don't want her to feel happy because happy wife, happy life. You understand what I'm saying? I knew at 9:14, I would just hear that yawn, and it's like, all right, Katoya's out. Let me go turn these lights down. I knew that. I knew it wasn't going to change because we put a wedding bed on, and we got some cute pics now. And so those are small, silly things here. But on the bigger scale of things, it is a reality to be like, just because we walked down the aisle, just because we had some friends and family come into this building or outside on this patio to just be like, hey, I do, that things are going to be different. And so, again, yes, you can put in the effort to make things change. And it may take some work. It may take some therapy. It may take some hard conversations. But do not come in here with the expectation that once we get married, and that this is a underscore in blank.
Yeah.
For you to fill in, and hopefully this podcast is having some conversation starters as well.
Some dialogue amongst that. Like, man, what is that one thing that, we keep kind of talking about, we keep revisiting. I know that you're struggling with, or it's an area of growth that, communication. But you're like, man, we can't seem to I'm really trying to pull things out of you, and I'm having a hard time pulling it out of you. You're going to keep having a hard time pulling it out of that person. Like, this stuff to have the conversations about, And again, it doesn't mean, like, because it's not resolved, you shouldn't get married. It's just saying, are you willing to take that into your marriage as something that you continue to work on? Because, again, no perfect person. No perfect spouse.
Marriage, we don't have a time to really talk about it all in this episode. Maybe another time. But, marriage is seen a lot of times in two different contexts, where it's kind of this ball and chain, woe is me, no thank you. Or it's almost this magical fantasy thing, where it's like just Cinderella, wave the wand, and then boom, everything's going to be fantastic. He really wasn't helping with the kids now, but now he's going to help with the kids over here. Or she wasn't cooking a lot over here, but now she's going to cook more over here. Or whatever the case may be. And I'm just using pronouns just to use pronouns. You could fit them how you want to fit them.
Yeah.
But in marriage in general, or just even again exclusive relationships, it's just this mentality of there's gonna take time, and the communication is gonna have to build, and nothing is gonna happen overnight with the flick of your hand.
Right.
Yeah. I think those were some good ones here.
Yeah.
I feel like we kind of talked about. Did I bring up? Okay, we did talk about did your friend? I didn't talk. See, y'all didn't tell me to bring back. I said in the last episode she brought something up at the end about her friend.
Gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Episode 20. We gonna say that. Don't let me forget. Somebody message me privately and message me. Yo, damn, you said you was gonna talk about that. I ain't forgot.
These are the myths that we. I mean, as we can see, it's worth lots of dialogue around. Just what you think, how you think. Is it true? Is it not true? Is it some truth? I still feel the same as last episode, that there's still some truth in them. Except for that ball chain, I don't really like that one.
Yeah, no, that was trash.
Yeah.
That was trash.
Yeah.
Continue to shoot us more. We would love to hear some more myths or just kind of any ideas that you may have here.
Yeah.
For
debunk
sure.
That stuff, man.
Please debunk it. Talk about it. Let us know what y'all talking about. As always, please continue to rate and review. We appreciate the feedback and appreciate the support. Continue to check us out on Patreon for exclusive content. We got bonus episodes waiting on you right now, so check those out. Patreon, Patreon, and last but not least, YouTube. We're trying to get to 200. That's our goal for September. If you're listening in September, we're almost there. So take a minute, subscribe.
Yeah,
you guys are fantastic.
Right, and if you're listening to these mostly on audio, there's something like watching TV is just really you like the visual perspective. So even if you're not a typical YouTube person, feel free to just put us up. Let us join.
While you're washing dishes, you fold the laundry.
Yeah, a little visual representation to the voices. Although I have been told that I do have that voice. Ooh. So if you just want to hear these voices,
radio voice.
Hey, this is Katoya coming live at it's okay if you just want to hear it. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. You guys are great. Relationship Myths Part 2. We out of here. Summing up with the Sumners.
Bye. See you next week.